Ever feel like your school education left a few things out? Like, a lot of things? Well, you're not wrong. History class probably didn't mention that Napoleon Bonaparte was once attacked by a horde of bunnies. Seriously, he'd organized a rabbit hunt, but the bunnies, instead of fleeing, turned and charged him and his men. It was a full-on bunny rebellion. And speaking of strange animal facts, did you know that a group of flamingos is called a flamboyance? How perfect is that? Imagine a whole flamboyance of pink, leggy birds just hanging out. But let's dive deeper into things you definitely weren't tested on. You know how we think of Vikings as these big, burly dudes with horned helmets? Well, that's a myth. The horned helmets were an invention for a 19th century opera. Real Vikings probably thought horns would just get in the way during a raid. And while we're busting myths, let's talk about the Great Wall of China. It's not actually visible from space with the naked eye. Astronauts have confirmed it. It's an incredible structure, but it's just too narrow to be seen from that far away. Let's move from history to something a little more cosmic. Most of the atoms that make you were forged in the heart of a dying star. That's right. You are literally made of stardust. It's not just a poetic phrase. It's a scientific fact. And speaking of space, there are more trees on Earth than there are stars in the Milky Way galaxy. Scientists estimate there are about 3 trillion trees, compared to only 100 to 400 billion stars in our galaxy. It kind of puts our own planet into perspective, doesn't it? Now for a little human anatomy lesson you missed. Your stomach acid is so strong it can dissolve razor blades. Please, do not test this at home. This powerful hydrochloric acid is what helps us break down our food and kill harmful bacteria. And here's another weird one about our bodies. You can't hum while holding your nose closed. Go ahead, try it. It's impossible because humming requires you to exhale air, which you can't do if your mouth and nose are both blocked. Simple, but something you probably never thought about. Let's travel back in time again. Cleopatra, the famous last pharaoh of Egypt, lived closer in time to the first moon landing than to the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza. The pyramid was built around 2560 BC, while Cleopatra lived around 30 BC. The moon landing was in 1969. Mind-blowing, right? It shows just how incredibly long ancient Egyptian civilization lasted. And here's a fact about another famous historical figure. Albert Einstein was once offered the presidency of Israel in 1952. But he politely declined. He said he lacked the natural aptitude and the experience to deal properly with people. Let's talk about the animal kingdom again, because it's endlessly fascinating. The heart of a blue whale, the largest animal on Earth, is so massive that a human could swim through its arteries. Its heartbeat is so powerful it can be detected from over 2 miles away. And on the smaller side of things, a sea otter holds hands with other otters while they sleep so they don't float away from each other. How adorable is that? They create little rafts of otters, just bobbing in the water. Did you know that the national animal of Scotland is a unicorn? Yep, a mythical creature. It was chosen because it represents purity, innocence, and power in Celtic mythology. It's a nice change from the usual lions and eagles, don't you think? And sticking with quirky national facts, there's a town in Norway simply named A. You can imagine how easy it is to give directions there. Let's get a little tasty. Carrots weren't always orange. Originally, they were purple, white, and yellow. Orange carrots were developed by Dutch growers in the 17th century as a tribute to William of Orange. So that vibrant orange color is basically the result of patriotic farming. And what about that wasabi you eat with your sushi? Chances are, it's not real wasabi. Real wasabi is incredibly difficult to grow and very expensive. Most of what you get is just horseradish, mustard, and green food coloring. The flavor is similar, but the real deal has a more complex, herbal taste. Now for a fact that sounds completely made up. It rains diamonds on Jupiter and Saturn. The intense pressure and high temperatures in their atmospheres can crush carbon atoms into actual diamonds. These diamond hailstones could be up to a centimeter in diameter. So, forget diamond mines on Earth. The real treasure is in space. And staying in the sky, have you ever heard of a moonbow? It's a rainbow that happens at night, caused by the light of the moon instead of the sun. They're very rare and faint, but incredibly beautiful. Let's bring it back to Earth with a few more human-centric facts. The inventor of the Pringles can, Frederick Bohr, was so proud of his creation that he requested to be buried in one, and his family honored his wish. A portion of his ashes was interred in a Pringles can in his grave in Cincinnati. Now that's brand loyalty. And here's a legal quirk. In Switzerland, it's illegal to own just one guinea pig. They're considered social animals, and it's seen as abuse to keep one by itself. So you have to get them a buddy. We all know the word nerd, but did you know it first appeared in a Dr. Seuss book? It was in If I Ran the Zoo from 1950, where it described a small, grumpy-looking creature. It took a while for the word to evolve into its current meaning. And one more literary fact: the longest word in the English language without a vowel is rhythms. Simple, common, but a great piece of trivia. Let's wrap up with a few final mind benders. A day on Venus is longer than a year on Venus. It rotates so slowly that it takes 243 Earth days to complete one rotation, but it only takes 225 Earth days to orbit the Sun. It's a completely backward and slow-spinning world. And our second to last fact: octopuses have 3 hearts, to pump blood through the gills, and the third one circulates it to the rest of the body. They also have blue blood because it's copper-based instead of iron-based like ours. And finally, number 25. You are constantly shedding skin. In fact, you shed about 1.5 pounds of skin cells every year. Most of the dust in your home is actually made up of your dead skin. It's a little gross, but also a sign that your body is constantly renewing itself. So, from bunny attacks to diamond rain and being made of stardust, the world is way weirder and more wonderful than we're ever taught. What's the most surprising fact you learned today? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.